Kelly and Barbara. It's your Wednesday edition where today we're talking all about wellness.
That's right. I mean, this year has been a bit of a challenge, I think, for everyone in their own ways. And one of the things that we've learned is that don't underestimate how difficult it is for other people as well. Like, we've all got our own problems, but other people are going through stuff too.
Yep.
And it's just about that awareness.
And it's not just about the physical aspect of wellness, it's also about the mental wellness as well. So many of us have faced issues, especially with all the lockdowns happening around the world, just being isolated. How do we maintain that social interaction? And for the first part of today's show, that mental wellness is something that we're going to be focusing on a little bit more. So we'd like to invite our first guest to come and join us, Executive Director of Limitless, Asha Lowe. Asha, come and join us.
Sit with me.
Yeah, all right, okay.
How are you doing, Asha?
I'm doing fine, Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, thank you
Thanks for coming on and joining us. So tell us a little bit more about Limitless.
All right, like Limitless is a youth organization. We work with young people from the age of 12 to 25 years old, and primarily what we do is we provide counseling and case management to help young people who need help, right? Especially in the area of mental health. So, you know, when we think about like the work that we do, I realized that interestingly enough, most of our cases actually they are youths who come in on their own, right? So they've heard of us from their friends, or they go on Google and they search, talk to someone, and they find us, right? And they come in on their own, and we see that it is a huge need right now, especially in the current situation with COVID-19. And, you know, we talk about how like physical health is so important and all that. But you know, COVID-19 has just shown us as mental health professionals how important or how much it has affected everyone's mental health as well.
So what are some of the big problems that you're actually seeing from the youth of today?
Some of the big problems that we see actually would be access to mental health services. So that's one of the biggest problems. So I mean, youths have no money, right? They're poor.
It's true. Which teenager has
Enough
money to go
allowance
spend on a therapist?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, like therapy costs like $150 an hour. No teenager is gonna be able to pay that, right? Not even like a university student. So access to services is one thing. Another thing is that in general, youth's mental health compared to maybe many years ago, right? Like maybe when I was a youth, you know, the issues have changed, right? They live in a very connected society. Mental health issues are a little bit more pronounced right now. And if we look at it right now, we see that people are struggling a lot more. And that brings me to the second thing. So we see young people struggling with suicide ideation, right? A lot more. So I was just looking at the numbers. This year itself, you know, we've had about 46 young people who we had to deal, you know, with suicidal ideation, suicidal actions. Yeah.
And
Wow.
I guess that's really rough. I mean, the idea of suicide, I think, is sometimes glorified by the media, and it becomes like an easy out because, and I say this from a point of when I was younger. I mean, I definitely thought of things like this, from being bullied and from going through various things as a hormonal teenager. It seems like a reasonable solution.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, and especially on hindsight, you're like, that was such a silly idea. But then it does take
A lot of
the
processing.
experience of somebody else to explain that, you know what, this isn't the end of the world. It may feel like it's the end of the world, but there is no need to unnecessarily take your life.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where people like you guys come in.
Yeah, actually, you know, when we think about suicide, and most youths don't, or most of the people who think about suicide aren't really thinking about killing themselves. They're thinking of ending pain. And if they are experiencing a lot of pain at this point of time, that could be the most logical way out, you know, for many of them. And the solution to that is to help them end the pain, right? Help them resolve the issue, or at least get them to a place whereby, you know, the pain is not so severe. that they think about suicide as an option.
So you guys have a fair few initiatives that you use to help with these causes, and one of such is the Limitless Run.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
All right, so the run is our response to COVID-19 and how we've not been able to fundraise.
Joining the
right?
running club.
Yes, join a running club. I mean, we chose a run for a few reasons. Number one, when we do like a virtual run, it's easy to do. So you can do it at any point in time. But running is not easy for many of us.
Oh yeah.
It takes a degree of
Me
mental.
Yes, it
mental
takes a degree
mettle.
of mental. Yeah, you're right. You know, and it takes quite a bit of mental strength to get through like maybe 5 kilometers for the average person.
5 click.
5 click.
I got through 5 minutes.
Right. So I mean, when we think about it, right, running seemed like the perfect thing, and we don't just want to help. You know, we don't just want people to run, right? You know, your money goes to a good cause. It goes to helping us provide services for these young people out there. But you know, we don't just want you to come and run and be done with it. So part of the run also is this. You know, when you come in, you sign up for the run. You also get access to masterclasses out of 5. You can choose out of 5, right? From mental health professionals, either from ourselves or other agencies that we work with. And at the same time, right, we don't just want you to be done with that. So you go take the information, you go back to your community, go make a difference. We also would like our runners to multiply their impact. So what we are doing is we are giving each and every one of them a toolkit to also help fundraise for the cause.
I really like
Wow.
that. I
Yeah.
like this holistic
Pass it
approach
forward.
of trying to approach it all, because let's face it, wellness really is an entire thing. It's not just about taking care of the mental aspect, but also that physical aspect,
Yep.
and that's something we're going to explore in the next segment as well. So stay with us. We are going to go for a short break here on Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. When we return, our next guest is going to be talking a little bit more about the physical side of things, but don't worry, we're going to see how it all comes together after the break.
Hello and welcome back to Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. We've got our second guest, Singapore footballer for Hougang United Football Club, Lionel Tan, joining us in studio. How are you?
Thank you for having me here. I mean, I'm good right now, and
You're good now.
You
I'm good now
Now.
because
So,
back in a few months I wasn't so good. So
so you've had quite the journey in terms of football. I mean, you eat, breathe, live, sweat, exist with football, from the Singapore Sports School to the SEA Games to the clubs that you've played for. How has that whole journey been for you?
I think it has been a really long journey. You know, I
You
learned a
say
lot
that,
of things.
but you're like 23 years old.
No, but it was a long journey before I became a full professional footballer. I had a lot of obstacles. You know, you sacrifice a lot. So I'm proud of where I am right now, but the work never stops, and it's all about working hard again. And I have good and bad moments, you know, but I appreciate all of it because I learn from it. I learn from all my experiences, and I mean, it makes me a better person as
I
well.
was just going to say, it makes you a stronger person, more resilient. I mean, it takes a lot to be able to wake up at 5 o'clock every morning to make sure that you get there for training every single time. Now, you say that you are much better now than you were a few months ago. That's because you actually contracted COVID.
Yeah, it was.
Can you tell us a little bit more?
When I first contracted COVID, it was quite bad because I was at home most of the time. Only probably went out to get my food or to exercise because I was told to be home, you know, stay home. So what happened was when I first contracted it, I didn't know it was COVID because I just felt like it was a normal illness, like I got a flu and some sore throat, and I took medication like Panadols and stuff, and then the next day it was all good. But came after that, it was some fatigue and my back started to ache a lot. So it was a constant thing. Even when I'm laying in bed and stuff, doing normal daily activities, it was so tiring for me, and I just wanted to eat and sleep, to be honest. I even tried foam rolling myself, my back, but it never helped. It never went away.
You thought,
it never
just
went away.
maybe if I foam roll enough, it'll go away.
So maybe you can talk us through the whole process. I mean, from finding out that you actually had it, the test and
Yeah,
stuff
because
like that.
between your first
Yes.
symptoms
So-
and getting tested, it was a good 10 days.
So I thought I recovered because when my flu and cough went off, it was just fatigue, and I thought it might be from the exercises that I do, when I go for my runs or I work out, but it never seems to go away, So what happened was I decided to see the doctor the moment I lost my sense of taste and smell, because it was something I looked up on Google, They have everything. They have everything.
Dr. Google, as we call it.
And then back then, loss of taste and smell wasn't a so-called a thing yet,
Wasn't one of the
Yeah,
designated
yeah.
symptoms to look out
So
for.
when I went to doctors, I went to a clinic and they asked me two simple questions: whether have I traveled out of Singapore the last 14 days, or have I got in contact with any COVID patients, which definitely we are unaware because it can be anywhere. It can be anywhere. So, but I did say that the fatigue was real and I lost my sense of taste and smell. But apparently, she's the doctor. I trust her. She said like, no, because the two factors wasn't included.
So you
So-
weren't presenting all the usual symptoms that a typical COVID patient would have, but you were displaying other things,
Yep.
and they maybe thought, oh no, maybe you don't have it.
Yeah. So basically, she just gave me 5 days MC, and then she said that within 4 days, if I don't feel well at all with the medications that she gave me, I would have to go back to see her. So 4 days later, I still felt the same. It was so tiring,
Yeah.
I still only just have my meals and then go to bed and sleep, hoping that I'll recover. But it never did. I never recovered fully. So when I went back to the clinic again, the very same day in the noon, I was admitted to Ng Fong General Hospital because I took a swab test in the noon and I managed to get my results at about 10 p.m. So immediately, I waited for a bit before the ambulance came, and it felt weird because you couldn't even simple things like pressing the lift. The
They won't let you do it.
Yeah, they're helping me do it, and they said like, I can't touch any surface, because they were scared. Obviously, I was spread to everyone.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
when I reached the hospital in the ambulance, it was really I can't describe the feeling because basically you walk in and there were 2 glass panels in between,
It must have been so isolating for you,
The
because
it was isolated.
because you've got to be in this bubble, right? Like suddenly it's just like everyone's looking at you with suspicion. Everyone is so afraid to come close to you.
But thankfully, the ambulance came midnight, so there wasn't anybody looking at me.
Right
But-
side.
Yeah, so I managed to stay in the isolation ward for a night, and then next day I moved to a different ward with other workers, which I managed to speak to them, get to know more of them. And to be honest, I learned so much because I feel fortunate for where I am right now. And when you speak to them, they open up to you. It's not exactly what people think of them. They have their families back home as well. They have kids, And I remember when I went to work, because they were there for quite a while already.
Yeah.
So when I went there, they told me that they didn't want to have any photos or videos because they are afraid that their families find out, and they are worried that
They don't want them to worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that must be really hard. I mean, that sense of connection, you're essentially losing that sense of connection. How, from a mental aspect then, that's going to have a deep impact, right?
It does. I would say we're all very social beings. So it's super important that we have people around us that we believe are for us. Right? So, our friends, our family, our communities. And when you take that aspect out of a person's life, it suddenly becomes a very isolating experience. And that all those things affect people's mental health. It affects their affects the ability to cope with certain situations. And it's the same, COVID-19, when you are quarantined, you're by yourself, and that's when thoughts run wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the recovery process that you went through, you were at the resort at Pasir Ris, and it turns out your brother was there as well.
Yes, my brother got COVID as well.
Oh no.
And you guys just weren't sure, like, who got it first, who passed it to whom.
So the thing was, I took the swab test first, so I was tested positive for COVID first.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he went back home first,
So
Yeah, he got discharged. He got discharged first as well. So it's not fair. I've been isolated for a longer time. but during my stay in the resort, I mean, luckily because I was already in contact with certain staff from my team. So he basically my head coach, and then he told me about what I can expect there and stuff. So I managed in my head back then. I was, how can I get back fit, or rather fitter? So
Well, that was
I
gonna be
got
my next
apart from
question.
getting
How
my
did you
clothes in,
manage it?
apart from getting my clothes in and necessities, I managed to get some equipment like resistance band. So it wasn't too bad, It gets boring. It gets boring in there because you can't get out of your room, and the nearest is maybe your balcony. So apart from communicating with my friends, virtual workouts with them, because I have my own equipment, I always set a time for me to work out before dinner, because if you don't do anything, it's really boring because you're just waiting for breakfast, lunch, dinner.
But I think then it really comes into play, that importance between and that connection between both the physical and the mental side of wellness.
Yeah.
Asha, maybe you can weigh in here as well, just how closely interconnected they are. Because I think if you didn't have that physical wellness when you were in isolation,
It would've been a
you
lot
might have
harder.
gone crazy. And I do know of people who, like Paula Malaya Ali, for example, who travels in and out of the country. She's literally calling herself the quarantine queen because she does 14 days on either
Oh,
side. And she says it's
wow.
the hardest thing.
Yeah.
But having that physical activity, I guess, helps boost the mood, right, Asha?
Yeah, it definitely does. I think we when we think about our overall health, right, firstly we need to also understand that there's no health without mental health, and there's no health without physical health. Right? And when we think about how we define health in general, how is a person healthy, we're looking at four things. Right? We're looking at whether or not they're biologically healthy, are they physically healthy, are they mentally healthy, so psychologically healthy, are they socially healthy, right? Do they have the social support systems in place to keep them alive, right? And finally, are they spiritually healthy? So meaning, do they have like a goal in life? Do they have like, do they have some motivation behind them, pushing them forward? So if we think about that connection there, right, we are talking about two huge parts of person's overall health, right? So I think at the end of the day, studies have shown that your mental health is very much affected by your physical health, and your physical health is also very much affected by your mental health. So people with mental health conditions are also likely to experience more physical issues in the future. So they're all correlated.
So just to wrap things up, I think we would just want to get a bit of advice from the two of you. So for Asha, if people feel that they've reached that point where they want to reach out for help, where can they go?
If you're youth, you can come to Limitless, right? So our website is at limitless.sg/talk, TLK. If you're an adult, or if you feel that Limitless may not be the place for you, right? There are many other options. You can go to the nearby family service centers. You can go to any hospital actually. Every hospital is equipped with a mental health ward right now. You can even go to polyclinics to get the
Fantastic.
referrals.
Yep.
And if you need a place to look for other agencies that are available, right? We have the AIC website. We have the NCSS website, whereby they both have their own list of resources.
Fantastic. And Lionel, just from you, what advice do you have for anyone who is potentially going through what you went through?
I think basically the most important takeaway for me is staying patient, because when you get COVID, you never know when you recover. Like, I thought that I'll be out in a week's time, Like, I felt good when I was, by then when I was in the hospital, because it felt like my body is completely recovered. I could do some workout and stuff. But basically staying patient and staying positive is important. Talk to your friends, or talk to whoever your loved ones. Just basically communicate because it's essential, you know.
That communication is absolutely key, and I think that's something Asha would definitely agree on as well.
Yeah, I do.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. First-hand experience with COVID. That is a scary,
Our first
daunting
COVID guest
thing.
as well.
Hey, thank you so
Fully
much.
recovered.
Thanks for coming on, guys, and we really appreciate it. We're going to go for a short break, but when we return, Barbara is going to be doing a workout with Lionel. This should be fun. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Kickback with Kelly and Barbara. Now, we can't have a footballer on set and not have him run a workout. So Lionel's going to be taking us through about a 5-minute workout.
Yeah.
What can I, we all know I'm not very coordinationally blessed. So what can I expect today?
Well, I'm just hoping to bring some simple exercises to you and to everyone, and then hopefully it'll be beneficial for everyone.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
All right, so we also have footballs on
Yeah.
set with us, which also makes me slightly nervous. Last time I tried playing football, I fractured my wrist. So let's hope that that doesn't happen today. All right, let's get straight into it. What are we doing first?
For the first exercise, maybe we'll warm up a little bit, just some bear cross,
Oh, back cross.
just some easy ones.
Okay.
Just back and forth, keeping the hips tight.
Yeah, this one's always a good one to warm up. You end up getting your core activated, your shoulders activated. Nice flat back and knees
Oh,
close to
it's
the
1
ground.
minute. Okay.
No, we've still got time. We've still
You got time?
Yeah,
A
we've
little
got time. We've got about 20 seconds more. I'll keep time for you.
Okay.
Okay. I almost regret saying that now. Whew. And time. We're good. Okay. We've got about 15 seconds before we move on to the next exercise.
Perfect.
So I basically force breaks. What are we doing next?
Okay, we be doing some. It's a combination of core exercises. So it goes this
Down.
way and up. This way.
Oh, so it's like down first and then up. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, 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 cool. Right. Let me get to it. And 3, 2, 1.
Keeping those core tight, yeah.
I'm trying. Unlike you, I do not train every day.
But we trained today.
Ooh, we did. Okay. Keep going. If you're at home, you can probably aim to do all of these, maybe 3 or 4 sets. This is me looking as an excuse for a break. And Lionel was just powering through.
Nah,
Total
I'm
jab.
in trouble as well. I shouldn't have.
You're like, shouldn't have trained so hard earlier on in the day. Whew. And time. Okay. Oh, there go my hips. Great. What do we got next?
Next one is another combination. It's tough, but it's simple. It's this way, and then we just pull it up.
Okay. Cool. Clearly, I was not prepared for this one. Okay, we're going in 3, 2, 1. So, bicycle,
Bicycle,
and then.
up.
Whew,
You go slow and steady, we're feeling
I
the
feel
burn.
so much engagement right now.
Come on, Baba.
Oh, he's trying to encourage me. Bless him. Oh. Okay, we've got 20 seconds left. I can do this. Kelly is so lucky right now.
I'm dead as
A
well.
little bit more time. And 5 seconds.
Okay?
3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. I got 2 more
more
Got 2 more
exercises?
exercises. I feel like it can't end.
Okay, but next one is better. I think it's easier.
So
We
you
have-
wear me out completely, and then you throw in the football.
No, we have some upper body work. So you just get push-ups in, move the ball over,
Push
push-ups
up,
in.
move the ball. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, you can always do this on your knees if you're feeling tired or
Yeah, sure.
lack of strength, like me.
So you can do it anyway, you know.
Let's go.
at home if you have a ball. You know, you want to increase the difficulty level. I think you can do this.
Increase the difficulty level.
Yeah, because if you do normal push-up, I think
It gets boring after a while, right?
it gets boring, and I mean this gives a little bit more different type of surface, you know.
Look at us having conversations while we work out. We got
Keeping myself distracted.
distracted. In 3, 2. Okay, one more rep in. Oh, hand time. Okay. So, we've got one more
One last one.
exercise. What are we gonna do?
So basically, we go with a plank, and then 10 seconds, we switch up to our left hand, right hand, left leg, and right leg up. So 10 seconds work, yeah.
Okay.
You good?
You
Is
do
the last
first,
one?
and then I'll
Is the last
follow.
one?
Last one. Last one. We can do this. Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Oh.
Just wait there.
Okay. Just 10 seconds, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then,
And
switch
then
the
I'll-
elbow.
Yeah, our left hand's up.
Okay. Oh, left hand up.
Yeah, yeah.
Not like, oh. Okay. Cool.
Hang there. Our last one. Okay, we'll switch our hands on. Tight and strong.
See, we get to the point where I just don't talk anymore. It's usually during the last.
But it's the last 30 seconds. So we have our left leg up right now.
Left leg. Okay. I can hear our producer kind of like giggling at me.
Okay, we can change
Back.
it.
Let's
Change.
hit the last one. Last exercise. Last 10
Last one.
seconds.
And then we march on the spot.
Oh, we do what now?
We march.
We march?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's okay.
Oh, we march. Okay. And time!
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. All right, well. Okay, we're standing. Okay.
We're sweating.
Awesome. That was Wednesday's episode of Kickback with Kelly and Bar. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
making me sweat today. We'll be back again on Friday evening at 8 p.m. on Get Active TV. Joining us will be Power Racing couple Claire and Yui. We'll see you then.